Okay, so we are going to do a little refresher on using the metric system because metric units are essentially what is always used in science. In your note packet, you will see a table that looks like this that you will be filling in. You could fill it in as we go, or you could just watch the video and then go back and fill it in. Either way works. Okay, so metric system is based on some standard basic units. So when we're talking about distance or length, the unit that is the base unit is a meter, which is abbreviated with a lowercase m. For liquid volume measurements, the base unit is a liter, which is abbreviated with an uppercase L. And for mass, the base unit is a gram, which is abbreviated with a lowercase g. So the power of the metric system is that with those bases, you can add prefixes on to change the scale. And as you know, metric system works in units of tens, which we'll talk about in a minute. But starting with a meter base unit, for example, you can add the prefix kilo to create a kilometer, which is a unit used for measuring much larger distances. Or you could use the prefix centa to make a centimeter, which is good for measuring much smaller distances or lengths. So here is the conversion chart, and we'll talk about this for the different bases. This chart is super helpful in changing between units. So for example, we're talking about distance unit is a meter. So that goes in the center here for basic unit. And we mentioned adding kilo to create a kilometer. And as the chart tells you, a kilometer is 1,000 of the basic units, whereas a centimeter is 1/100th of the basic units. So there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. If you think of cents in a dollar, there are 100 cents in a dollar. So it's the same prefix, which is great. Okay, so we need to be able to recreate this little organizer in order to use it effectively. So some of these prefixes are not very commonly used, but we need them in there because they're placeholders. So I love mnemonics, which is the fancy word for little phrases to help you remember things. And a common way to do that is by using this phrase, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, because the first letters in the phrase here help you write out the organizer in the correct order. So it's just a trick to help you remember. Obviously, you are 100% welcome to come up with your own phrase if something helps you remember it more clearly. All right, so let's go back to distance here. So what I've done is I've put in all of the words, basically adding the prefixes to meter, and I've also added in the abbreviations. Some of these probably look pretty familiar. I have highlighted in yellow the ones that are commonly used, and you can see that some are not highlighted and are definitely not common. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen reference to a decameter, which is abbreviated as DAM. But again, you need to have them there because they're placeholders. Okay, so let's do a little bit of practice just using this chart as a tool to help us make the conversion. So if I want to know how many centimeters are in a kilometer, what I do is I start at the kilometer and I see that I want to get all the way over here to centimeter. So I have 1 kilometer, so I'm going to write it out. That's a 1, which of course is the same thing as 1.0. So starting at kilometer, I'm just gonna hop over the correct number of squares. So starting here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hops to get to centi. So that means that I am going to move my decimal point 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the right. So it needs to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So add in those zeros and a comma to make it look neat. And that tells you that there are 100,000 centimeters in 1 kilometer. So we just used the graphic organizer here to do the conversion for us, basically. So all you have to do is hop your decimal point to the right if you're going to a smaller unit, or hop it to the left if you're going to a bigger unit. So let's do another one here. How many meters in 100 millimeters? So if I'm starting here and I want to go to here, I'm going to write out my 100, which has the decimal point there. And the organizer tells us that I need to hop 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So 1, 2, 3, which means there's a decimal here. So the answer is 0.1. How many millimeters in 24 meters? So we're starting at meters, and I want to go to millimeters. I've got 24.0. So I'm going to hop 1, 2, 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. Add in my zeros, and the answer is 24,000 millimeters. So really powerful tool here. All right. For liquid volume, as we said, the base unit is liter, and here are all of the prefixes written out. You can see I've highlighted liter and milliliter, and really those are the only two that are commonly used. So those are the ones that we would commonly be converting between. For mass, the unit being grams, the commonly used would be kilograms or milligrams. So again, you need those other squares in there so that you can hop the correct number of places to get your decimals correct, but kilograms, grams, and milligrams are really the ones that we need to remember. Okay, so again, here is the table in your packet that you need to fill in. So I've filled in some squares for you, but the others you can fill in if you remember it, or flip back through the video if you need to. Okay, thank you.